What is going on, everyone? It's James here for LFC Transfer Room Live Watchalong, Liverpool into Milan. Last minute substitution, I'm in. Chedu's not feeling too great, so here we go. I guess it's going to be me covering it for the evening. Chedu's not feeling too great, so how is everyone? Score predictions. That's where I want to start. I want to start with score predictions. What everyone think it's going to be tonight. Obviously, we're 2-0 up from the first leg. I haven't even seen the team yet, so I need to have a look at what the team is. But get it in the chat. You know, European nights at Anfield. There's nothing better. There's nothing better for me. It's one of those situations where I really like watching football at home. I really enjoy sort of just being comfortable, having a beer, not being surrounded by crazy people. But European nights are the ones where you're like, well, do you know what? I kind of fancy being there. I kind of want to be part of that sort of atmosphere. Evening, Jen. Good to see that you're here. So score predictions are coming in. Jordan's going with a 4-0. Gary a 7-0. Is that 7-0 on aggregate, or is that just 7-0? Just a complete and utter battering. It's like Spurs against Everton. Is there ever a manager that's meant for Everton more than Frank Lampard? I'm enjoying this at the moment, but we'll get onto that as the match goes on. Jen's gone for a 3-0, so 5 overall on aggregate. Norman's gone for a 2-all. Is that 2-all on aggregate? 2-all just on the night? Either way, if it's 2-all in the night, it's enough to go through. But there's no away goals, is there? So that's something that we need to be sort of wary of. What's the team news? Well, a better man than me would be prepared and he'd be able to tell you what the team news is, but there isn't a better man than me. So I'm going to have to Google what the team is, because it's I was having dinner with my wife and she doesn't care. So let's have a look. Everton. I mean, I'm not saying anything. Thiago in midfield. I believe is it Jones is starting ahead of Elliott. So that could be a good one. Move around some of these bars so I can get to where I want. So we've got Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson. Nothing is more familiar. A Jones, Fabinho, and Thiago midfield. It's a good midfield. I'm looking forward to seeing how this one goes. And a Salah, Jota, Mane up front. And do you know what? I am pleased. I'm pleased that Jota's starting, because I think as much as I'm enjoying the Diaz midfield up front three with Salah and Mane, I think it's about time that, you know, we put some respect on Jota starting and stuff like that. So Champions League, it's good to see Jota back. But this Thiago, Jones, Fabinho midfield, I'm excited about this because the confidence Jones had in that game where he played the first half, I can't remember which game it was. It was only recently. I want to say it was Norwich. He really dominated the midfield, and I think he deserves a little bit of a game. I think he deserves an opportunity to play. So, yeah, I'm excited by seeing Jones. Agent Lamps. Well, he wasn't the best English midfielder, despite what people said, and he's seemingly not the best of the managers to come through. Iron brew, or I'll be coughing all night. Jones needs game time. Yes, I completely agree. Completely agree. Thiago back in midfield. I do like seeing Thiago in midfield and stuff like that. So this is my first time using some of this kit, so it'll make for a great viewing when I mess it up multiple times, because I've realised if you press a certain button, then it just carries on. I've got the game on my iPad, so I'm going to try and sort of talk about what I'm seeing. I'm assuming everyone's watching the game. You're not expecting me to commentate for you and tell you what's going on. But yeah, Inter Milan, Liverpool at Anfield. I mean, it just feels different, doesn't it? I really like Jones. Gary really likes Jones. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jones. I think he's going to be a really strong central midfielder for us. Oh, Helior, you raise a good point. Are we starting to see this season the decline of Henderson? Or is it just Curtis Jones can contribute skills Henderson doesn't have? I think I wouldn't necessarily call it the decline of Henderson. I would more call it the maturing of Jones. I wouldn't say Henderson is in decline. I would say, if you were to push me, I would probably agree that is the case. He is starting to come down, but I'd like to look more that Curtis Jones is seemingly maturing into his role. He seems to be getting a lot more confident. He seems to be dominating the games where he used to dominate when he was playing with the under-23s. Now he's started to do it in a Liverpool shirt in the first team. I think that comes with confidence and game time and contribution. So, yeah, definitely some perks. I see Jones coming through. I mean, that could save us 20, 30, 40 million, really, couldn't it? If Jones can really sort of develop that relationship with Trent and Salah. So all I really want is that Salah contract. That Salah contract to be announced. That would be pretty much all I'm looking for this month. Whilst we laugh at United, yes, Gary, whilst we laugh at Everton. I mean, can you imagine the season? We win the league, Man U finish outside the top 4, Everton go down. Oh, could not imagine a better time. Couldn't imagine a better time, honestly. So, I mean that's what I'm hoping for. Obviously, Champions League as well. That'd always be a sort of an added perk. But it's written in the stars. It has to be written in the stars. Big Verge captain doing the handshake. Look at him. He looks relaxed, doesn't he? He always looks chilled. He's like, I've got this. And he seemed a lot more like his usual self recently. I've really liked how he's been playing. I tell you one thing that did worry me in the last match that we played against Inter is the way that Perisic found that gap. And I think this is why Harvey Elliott's not starting. He found that gap between the central midfielder and Trent and just ran that left channel. And it caused us massive problems until Henderson came on. And I think they're going to try and do the same. Obviously, you can see the Perisic-Dumfries situation, but Robbo pushes back a little bit more to give Trent more freedom. So I think they're going to try and take advantage of that with Perisic. And I think the main challenge for Jones this evening is to block that channel, because that's where Harvey really struggled for me in terms of just that defensive element and stopping that Perisic counter-attack, which is where I think he's gone with Jones for the night. It's just showing a picture of Klopp's face. You know, Klopp's serious when his bottom teeth are showing, and you know he's coming through and he's aggressive. He wants this tonight. You can see he wants this tonight. So I'm going to get ready to press the start timer. I will tell you what time I'm at, just so that you know, in case my iPad's a little bit slower than yours or anything like that. No spoilers. Lads taking a knee. Let's get racism out of football. Come on, guys. Have some iron, and we're off. I am 8, 9. Yeah, that's pretty much in time. So, who's on the bench, James? Pressure. Well, there's 5 subs tonight, and on the substitutes bench, you've got Milner, Naby Keita, Joe Gomez, Adrian, Henderson, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Minamino, and there's been a great video done by Tar about Minamino on the channel today. Kostas Tsimikas, Diaz, Origi, Kelleher, Harvey Elliott, and that is your bench. If you want me to tell you the bench for Inter Milan, I do not have that on my screen, so you'd have to wait. But yeah, it's a strong bench, isn't it? And you know, Klopp's been talking about these 5 substitutes again, and it's a real big problem, I think, you know, that we need to be having these 5 substitutes, and no one in the Premier League is going for it. So I'd really like to see a lot of people get a lot of opportunities tonight. You know, if we can get ahead of it, if we can start to do some things, that'd be good. Matthias, good to see you. Thanks for joining. So, by looking at things, we're starting a little bit on the front foot. There we go. Instead of doing the milliseconds, it's gone to normal seconds. That's a little less confusing. We are not in period 2, though. How many periods does this go to? There we go. Oh, overtime. Oh, crap. Sorted. See, I fixed it. Matthias, score predictions. And Jen, look at that, keeping me honest. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are so close to 3K subscribers. I think we're on 2880. So if you could like and subscribe, that would be very helpful. Inter Milan fans are in massive voice, and Liverpool doing the play out from the back. They're doing quite a high press into Milan. You know, really trying to charge down. I think they're winning it back early. It's just if we can get through this high press, Jones is brilliantly there, but he's just put it into space. I think if they're going to try and do this high press on us again and sort of pin us in, especially with Thiago starting, I don't think it's going to necessarily go very well for them, because Thiago's got this brilliant habit of just moving his body and taking 2 steps with the ball and just getting away from players. So if this is their tactic, I don't necessarily think it's a good one, but they've started on the front foot. But Fabinho's just taking on a counter-attack. Salah on the wing. First test of pace, blitzes him. And now he's 2-on-1. He's in the box, but he knocked the ball a little bit further away. And like all Italian teams, they've got ridiculous numbers on the backs. Who's number 77? But I'm not going to rant about that, because that just shows my age if I start ranting about numbers on football shirts and stuff like that. Thiago can spray the ball all over. Score predictions, Tristan. I mean, for me, I'd like to see another 2-0. I'd just like us to box it off. 2 workmanlike, efficient performances. We're currently in a stage where we're trying to, you know, go for 3 more competitions. First one's gone. So I'd just like to see a little bit of efficiency and then get 2 ahead and churn the changes. Inter Milan on the attack. Swung it in. Ooh, header against Matty. Back in the box. I mean, it's not great. They're not clear-cut chances that they're having, but they're trying to get into these high box situations and looping crosses. Van Dijk tried to block, didn't work. Vidal was coming in at force, but Alisson, as always, just comes out, swoops it out of the way. Easy as you like, not a problem. Helior with always the perfect information. The research that I never do, which is tonight's referee. I don't want to scare you, but he can be guilty of making games about him. Likes the attention, so be interesting to see who annoys the referee first. Because I always think with those type of referees, it's about who annoys him first, and therefore he punishes them and stuff like that in the game. So hopefully we keep on his good side. Liverpool now have the ball. They're starting to ping it around. They're starting to just get into that bit of a tempo. Inter already, they can't not be chasing it down already. I think they've got a tactic where they're trying to really chase us down in our final third. Middle of the third, they're kind of giving it to us and trying to push us back. And then, who's he giving that to? Brozovic against... How was he given that as a foul against Jones? He just ran in and stood in his way. Just makes no sense. But Inter Milan trying to play it out from the back. So let's see, let's show them how the press is done. And we've got a throw in. Lewis commented on one of your YouTube vids earlier. I think he's stalking you, Matthias. I think he's stalking you. Honestly, he says it on our chat all the time. It's like, Matthias is doing this, Matthias is doing that. You won't believe what Matthias is doing. Honestly, I think Louis is stalking you. And because I know he's not on this, he was just on earlier, I can say that. It's the best quote so far. Ooh, a bit of a strike from the right back. Straight at Alisson. It didn't have any real pace on it. They're getting in attacking situations. They're trying to counter quite quickly into Milan. But, you know, you're talking about our defensive line just really sort of, they're in position. And it's relatively simple. And if we can get through their press, then we're going to cause them a lot of problems. But I don't like the amount that's been played on our half in the first 5 minutes. But, you know, Inter Milan have got adrenaline running. Let's see how they go. Obviously, we've got the Anfield fans getting us going. Lewis is a bearded brother from another mother. Well, when it grows back, yeah. Thankfully, I think he's getting rid of... I don't know if he's still got the tash, actually. Should have asked him. I can't imagine his missus letting him go on holiday in that tash, be seen in public. Inter Milan again on another counter-attack, and again, they can't get anywhere with it. They're just... It's one of those, they're trying to attack us at pace, and when you go in at full pace, they're not having full control of the ball, and it just doesn't look like they've got it. But as always, it makes you nervous, especially when we're not in control. You know, even Thiago with a crossfield pass somehow made it to Salah, a bit more fluke. 1-2 with Trent. They're clearing it out again. The game just looks to be a bit chaotic at this moment in time. No one's really getting on top of anything. No one stood out in the first sort of 10 minutes of the game as getting in control of it, but it's early doors. You know. We can see how we go. To be fair, yes, he did look like Ned Flanders, and I think he looks at Alisson as a bit of a hero, because obviously Alisson has gone through that many different hairstyles and beards and tashes and everything like that. I think Louis just trying to be a bit like Alisson. Mane down the left, 3 of them around him. Oh, lovely ball to Robbo. Robbo's trying to do the low cross back to the edge of the box. De Vries comes across, blocks it, corner. And this is where Liverpool are dangerous. You know, you bring Big Verge up for the corner. None of the Inter defenders look particularly massive. Who are you going to put on Virgil van Dijk? This is where I think we've probably got some level of advantage. Cross comes in. Oh, Mane. I see, you forget how good Mane is at heading, because I've not seen it so far this season, really. Salah with the ball. Trent with a long cross in. Comes back out. Fabinho. Head tennis. No look, overhead pass. Well, that wasn't going to work, was it? Cedric, hello. Welcome along. Make sure you like and subscribe to LFC Transfer Room. We do loads of videos and content and bits and pieces. Tau's just done a great video on Minamino and the value of Minamino and how he's underrated. You know, think of a fifth choice player as valuable as Minamino. And it's really difficult to sort of think of anyone that's particularly contributed as much. You know, he's got 9 goals for us this season. It's a bloody good return from a player who isn't, you know, is he the new Origi? Because Origi's the one that sort of moved back into the distance. Intron on a bit of an attack here, trying to whip in across straight into Alisson's gloves, as expected. But yeah, he's done a great video on that. If you're after something random, Chedu, he's done LFC Hunger Games. You can find out who wins LFC Hunger Games. All the players and managers in a war to see who survives from all the different districts. He's paired them all up. I think he's used a simulator to do this, and I'm not going to ruin who wins for you, but it's a hilarious video. It's definitely worth a watch. And obviously we do watch-alongs like this, normally with Louis, but he's off doing something. So you've got me today. So yeah, first watch-along. So Cedric, hello. Please make sure you like and subscribe if you've not already. Thank you, anyone that's putting up with me. Let's get this win. You know, 10 minutes in, I think we're starting to get on top from the look of things. Yeah, they've had possession, but I don't think they've necessarily done anything with it. They're just trying to sprint at us with pace. I think I think you're right, Helio. We need to get on top of the ball. We just need to keep it for a little bit, play a little bit. Mane on the left here, 1-2, Jota. Our attacks look a little bit more dangerous for me. But we just need to get Thiago the ball. He's on it now. Just get things ticking around. There you go. Your Matip. If Matip wants to go on a run past 7 players and bang it in the top corner, that is my dream. I think he should retire as a footballer the second he does that. But we're pinging the ball around a bit. It's just not sticking, really, is it? Someone does a lazy pass or something like that. It's just not feeling there. So, yeah, Helio, 10 minutes, 70-30% it's going on. It's just not there yet, is it? I mean, Matip slices a clearance. How often does that happen? Dumfries is very central. It's a very Trent position, isn't it? Champions League format, the 24-25, the 10... The match format confuses me, but yeah, please, in the chat, I'd be curious to see what people think. I don't know if you've read this Champions League. Helio, I'm assuming you're all over this new Champions League format. But from a glance, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I think there's 24 teams. You play 10 teams. How do you do it? And then there's a league format for who goes through, and then it moves into knockout, and then it changes to this. It all feels very disjointed, this new Champions League format. It just doesn't seem to make sense to me. I mean, I've read it, but I feel like it's one of those where they've read it so many times and they've made revisions and revisions and revisions, then turned it into something that's completely nonsensical. Offside. Everyone stopped. I'm on mute, so it's... And Alexis Sanchez, was he offside? Oh, he was clearly offside, wasn't he? Alexis Sanchez being lazy, not getting back on side, big shock. I remember when he was at Arsenal, he used to be one of the hardest working players when he first came to Arsenal. And now I think as he's got older, he's just got lazier as a player. Bayern Munich 1-0. Salzburg, who was the scorer, Helio? Liverpool working it around the box. And again, it gets blocked out. Laurito Martinez comes back, sliding block to get rid of the ball. But now we've started the high press. Low ball in. Oh, he didn't clear it out. So it's Vidal versus Jota, but they managed to get it clear. Helio says Super League didn't happen. Now they're creating their own version of it. The system looks, to me, anti-democratic and almost discriminating. It's hard to disagree with that when you look at it. When you look at how the new format works, but I get it. Spanish football's on its arse. Financially, the government bailout to try and keep things going so Barcelona can sign a few players. It's an institution in Spain and they need something to just change the financial format of it. I'm not sure that this is a solution. I think salary caps and moving more with the salary caps in Spain is the solution, but then Spain's not competing on the global scale and the international scale, and England continues to dominate. So they're trying to do something to level the playing field. That's what it feels like for me. Lewandowski is the scorer against Salzburg. What's that on aggregate then? I think it was 2-2 the first one, wasn't it? Or something ridiculous like that. Lewandowski, 6 games, 9 goals. Yes, but if you put him into League Two, he'd probably get 6 games and 9 goals. I'm not a big fan of the German league. I watched it when they were the first league back from lockdown. I watched quite a few games, and honestly, the gap is huge. Liverpool with a corner. Van Dijk, straight at the keeper. Oh, at least we're starting to do something. Starting to see Thiago with more on the ball. First game 1-1. Okay, so yeah, it's good news for Bayern. So yeah, we're starting to. I think we're starting to get control of it. I think they've got the initial press runs out of their head. They're starting to get a little bit more tired. These long balls we're playing, like Robbo's just played one down the left wing to Mane. They just don't seem like the most sensible thing. It's like we're not following through on the best action that we should be doing. But we've got a plan in Jurgen we trust. We just got to stick to it, don't we? We ain't done a food debate in a while. We could do a food debate at halftime. I was thinking about things that we should do at halftime. So a food debate could be on the options. Definitely could be. Oh, Alexis Sanchez robs it from Fabinho. He's running at Matip's gone into the central. Tried to play it through. Blocked by Trent. Then to Robbo. Then Thiago. Oh, stopped a counter-attack there. I would love to see Barella here. I fear him, but I admire him. Love him at the Euros, a player that would have loved. Yeah, I quite like Barella. I always thought Perisic in his prime would be a perfect Liverpool player. He just seemed to fit with our model. He was taller. He was a winger. This is before the sort of Klopp era. But I do like him. But there's no one really that jumps out, that you'd be worried about in this team. I quite like Laurita Martinez. I think his work ethic is Klopp-like. I'm just not sure his work ethic is targeted enough, clever enough. We're playing the ball around, but Alisson's just to do a sliding clearance. It's while the pressing game is frantic, it's just no one seems to be getting on top of it. How unoriginal. Copycat beard and tats so cringy. I have no idea what you're on about. Yeah, and this is the thing, Elliot. He might be able to find the target, but is he a Klopp number 9? Because I don't think he's an 11 or 10 type of number. I think he's a 9-9. So it's a tough one, isn't it? I think he's a cracking player. I think he'd do great things for the club if he was to sign for us. But I'm just not sure he's a Klopp 9, if that makes sense. I think Jota is a perfect example of a Klopp 9. Liverpool, high press, Fabinho. He's given the foul. How is he given that foul? Fabinho comes in. I think does he get the ball first? I don't think he does, actually. But he's already down. This is the thing. He's already on the floor. So I don't get why ref making it about him. I don't get why he started. He's on his arse before he's even made. He's obviously just screamed out in pain like a little bitch. But 20 minutes in, they haven't seemed too dangerous. Neither have we. They've come at us at a pace, but they've not really created any clean-cut opportunities. They're sort of running down the wings and then doing these big looping crosses that don't seem to be getting anywhere. The only impressive thing I've seen so far is the amount of wax in Vidal's hair to keep that sort of mohawk perfectly straight. There we go, wide ball, Dumfries, but kicks it straight to Robbo. And Robbo, even on one leg, manages to get past Dumfries, and then off Mane goes. You see, bad pass from Mane, and they're counter-attacking us again. We just don't seem to be putting the passes together. It just feels disjointed at the moment. Just need to get more of a rhythm going. I was going to say the ref's obviously going to call out. The ref's calling any time a player goes down, even if it's been shot by a sniper from 1,000 yards, ref's going, yep, foul, stop the game. It's going to be one of those really annoying, disjointed games. I can feel it already. Helior, I don't know why he told me about this referee. I can feel it. It's just Lewandowski, 2-0. Am I beating you to this, Helior? Someone put it in chat. But yeah, Lewandowski with the second one, so they're 2-0 up against Salzburg now. Liverpool on the attack down the right wing with Salah. He's on 2. He tried to flick it through to Jota and it just got intercepted. Now it's with Trent. Trent looking for Salah. And again, crowded out, absolutely crowded out. There's too many of him in that right side. Don't know why Trent's not looking to sort of just switch the play. But we crowded them back out, and then we've got on Mane on the ball. Thiago, I want to see Thiago more on the ball. Matip on a run. Come on, Matip. Past 6. He's passed it. Honestly, this is my dream. The second Matip scores one of these, like, long runs, I want him to retire and never play football again. But it has to happen once. Thiago on the edge of the box to Salah. Jumped up on him to Jones. Trent. No one's really moving in the box. They're not making good targets for Trent there. Ball flicked up on Fabinho. He's been able to be tackled. We're pressing again. Into smash it clear. Thiago back on the ball. We're starting to pin him in now. I think we're starting to get on top of this. About 23 minutes in, starting to look like we're starting to put pressure on them. We're starting to pin them back in. And they're not pressing us in the final third anymore. You'll notice. So, Matip. If Matip did that in Champions League final, I swear, I might even stop watching football because it's not going to get better than that. A Matip halfway run, past 7 players, top bin, done. Nothing better in life. You beat me to... yeah. Lewandowski hat-trick. Bayern 3-0 up, absolutely dominating their game. There's us, bumbling along. 1-0. If you are new here, please, get involved in the chat. Good community of people, put information in on the game and stuff like that. Make sure you like and subscribe. We do watch-alongs like this, but we also put quite a lot of transfer chat out there and transfer information. At the time when obviously it's busier and we've got noise coming up, we're absolutely chaotic over January, putting videos out around about 3 times a day. But again, any support for the channel is welcome. We're so close to 3K. We're on 2.880. I think we're about 120 away from 3K. And we're just a small channel, so everything goes back into the channel. We're trying to sort of grow it as best we can. So yeah, any support's appreciated. And obviously we've got the admins here that are supporting us with the YouTube. So give love to the admins. Make sure that you say hi to them. So we're on a water break now. Didn't realise it was that time of the year. And this is probably good for us. Just so that Klopp can get a few messages out and a few bits and pieces of information. Because I think there's a few things that we're doing. Look at him. You can see what he's saying already. Just give the ball to Matip. Let him run through the middle of the players. He'll zigzag through all of them because he's like Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four. He's just got stretchy limbs that go anywhere, and he'll just slam it in the top corner. That's all we need. See, this is what Jen reminds me of every time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. There we go. Keep that. I'm impressed with Sanchez in the game. Do you know what? Yeah. He's not looked like Man United Sanchez, has he? He's looked more like Arsenal Sanchez. He's been doing some good drives inside. He's been confident on the ball. I think, though, that he's been taking some of the space that Perisic had in the first leg. And that space Perisic had in the first leg really sort of was wide open. So I think him being a naturally left-sided player with Perisic a naturally left-sided player, I do think he's stealing a little bit of his space. But that's not to say he's not having a good game, because he's driving inside has been particularly good on the eye, and it creates us different problems. But yeah, he's been player of the first quarter. Are we about first quarter? Yeah, we're about first quarter. An incident involving someone in the crowd. Thank you, Helior. That's happening a lot more, I've noticed recently. I don't know if any of you have noticed it in football matches. There seems to be quite a few incidents in the crowd. Everyone's clapping, so that seems to be a good thing. So, based on what you've seen so far, who do we think is the most likely to open the account for Liverpool tonight? You know, I think they've got 3 on Salah. Jota seems to have drifted in and out a little bit. Mane's been running it deep, but he's not got anywhere near the goal. You know, who's going to be the first to open their account for us tonight? I've got a gut feeling it's going to be Mane, to be honest. No, that's where my money's at. Jota for Jen. It's all been a bit scrappy so far, Gary, in terms of how Jones is doing. He's been good on the ball, but no one's really put passes together or strung anything and much strength together from what I've seen. But now we've started giving the ball to Thiago, and he's starting to take control. And I think that's good for everything. You know, straight back, then you can just see the ball's just pinging to Thiago. If we get that free kick, he'll have bought that. Jota. All right, yeah, maybe that was a free kick. Actually, it wasn't a solid one. We all do, Gary. You know, you never want anyone to be in particular trouble at games like this. Yeah, so everyone hopes that everything's okay. Trent with the whip in. Van Dijk, off the bar. I think the ref's given a foul, but the power on that header. Oh, it was Matip. Just smashed him in the head. But the ref's given a foul for Jota on their player, and it was their player that was fouling Jota. I think. Oh, no, another corner. Completely got that wrong. Let's do this cross, and then I'll put up Helion's chat. Trent whips it in. Oh, Van Dijk coming in. I think they've cleared it again. This might be a third corner. That was a wicked corner. Oh, he got good contact on it. He just headed it onto into player. Or putting some real pressure on them now. You can see they're panicking. They're doing man-for-man marking, which means they're coming deep with the Liverpool players. Goes in. You finally got one wrong, Trent. Here it comes again. Back post cleared away. Into. And so, 4-0, Bayern, Gnabry. And then 30 minutes in, 56-44 ball domination. Liverpool, one shot on goal. 30,000 fans asleep. Yes, what is going on a European? I think it's because we're not under any pressure. Everyone, although it's been a bit of a theme recently, I think, with the fans being quite quiet. It's not helpful when we're in this many competitions. We're turning into needy, greedy babies. You know, Liverpool put on a show for me. I want you to win 4 competitions. We're not Man City. You know, we need to push these players to go further and be better. But we're coming up to first half. We've got Thiago pinging it around. Matip's on a run. Here we go. Oh, passed it. Come on, Redmond. It's what we want to see. Thiago, José, Thiago. Robbo, back to Thiago again. This is what you want to see. Just give Thiago the opportunity to dictate it all. Mane on the right-hand side with Salah. Goes for... Oh, that was a bad cross. We're starting to press them now. We're starting to get it up high. They're trying a quick counter. Oh, they've got it through. Martinez. Well. People forget how fast Rolls Royces are, don't they? Van Dijk just strolling out to the game there. So we've had 3 total attempts, 1 on target. Inter have had 1 attempt, 1 on target. It is not a game of shots. We can say that with some confidence. So carry on trying to dictate the play. I like how we're starting to ping it around now. I actually think, do you remember Guardians of the Galaxy? I can't remember his name, but yeah, he ended up with this mohawk that controlled the magic wand that flew around. Is it Hondu? I think it was Hondu. Ended up with this huge afro, and it looks like that because obviously he's gone for bright yellow, sort of metallic almost. Maybe he's hoping he can control the ball by whistling. I do feel sorry for Laurito Martinez. He's trying to get on long balls in the air against Van Dijk. It's just not going to happen. Great tackle from Thiago to Mane. Mane drives past one. Flick out to Jota. Jota on the left. Robbo coming through. It just bounces off into player. That was counter-pressing at its absolute best. But Inter still playing it out really. I don't know why they're doing that. They've been losing it a few times, but they managed to break the way through the press-ish. That was a big bushy Colombian hair, wasn't it? That was massive. I remember that, Matthias. So me and you can show our age. It's fine. I was doing a stream with the guys the other day, and they were like, "Oh, do you remember Jan Kronkamp?" And I was like, "Yes." Stephen, and I was like, "I remember Marcus Babbel and Rob Jones, Stigging Bjornaby." And they were like, "Who?" I was like, "Oh God." Wouldn't you give up after 5 yards against Van Dijk? Rigobert Song. He was quick, you know. He wouldn't have given up against Van Dijk. He was a quick player. Fabinho to score. Tell you what, he's been getting a good few tackles in so far. Into with a corner here. Just our luck. Nah, we've got that. Van Dijk clears. Ooh, Salah doesn't control it first time. And Inter can counter. Trent, I tell you what, his defending's definitely got better, Trent. Not in a tackling perspective, but positionally and aerially. I remember doing a video for this channel a while ago looking at why people thought Trent couldn't defend. And the only statistic that he was really bad at was aerial competition, like his aerial duels. He really struggled sometimes, you know, to win those. And this is why teams like Brentford put Ivan Toney on him to just win that aerial domination. And he's really come on this season, I think, in terms of that. He's been clearing quite a lot with his hair. His hair? Well, let's not talk about Trent's hair. But he's been clearing quite a lot with his head, and he's been winning quite a few aerial duels, I've been noticing. So it's quite good to see that obviously he's working on elements of his game, and his obvious positioning for that goal line clearance and stuff like that is getting better. So, it's good to see. Sanchez, brilliant. Classic. Just pass it along the ground straight to Van Dijk, why don't you? He was way offside. I think it's going to take till someone pulls a hamstring in a full-on sprint back against somebody before they look at this offside rule, because that was blatant offside. And no one called it. Rocket Ronnie Rosenthal. Do remember that, Matthias? Do remember watching him play. So the game feels like it's in one of these weird transition moments where like we don't need to score. We just need to get through to halftime 0-0 or technically 2-0 up. Inter are like, well, we don't need to score. We just need to sort of get on top of it. We feel like halftime. We need to come in at halftime. It's just one of that weird elements. Oh, Jota just chops someone down. Dumfries tries to go down on the edge of the box. Yellow cards coming out. It's got to be for Jota. Proper hacked him down. And then the referee's given the second foul as well because he's put the free kick on the edge of the box. That was a bad one from Joe. I mean, Skerner really made the most of it. Screamed out like he'd been shot. Dumfries one, I'm not sure that was a foul, although Robbo's very clever in blocking people off. Oh, hello, that could be a good halftime activity. Word association. Yeah, the clearance in the last game. And then the way that he just berated the linesman. Oh, that's the type of leadership you want, where someone just... Oh, Inter with a very clever cross. He swung it right into the middle of the 6-yard box, and all Alisson can do was parry it away, but he parried it away in the right way, and now he's absolutely rollicking everyone for no one being at the front post to clear it. But if Dumfries had got a touch to that, because he was the nearest player, he didn't even swing a foot at it. Oh my God. If Dumfries had got a touch to that, that'd have gone in. You know, Alisson had very little chance. But he parried it away, and now we've got the throw-in, and what should have been a goal. That was that good an opportunity for me. That should have been a goal. If that had been a midfielder or an attacker and not Dumfries, a right back, I reckon that would have been a goal. Vidal diving on the floor like Vidal. Liverpool now on the counter-attack with Robbo down the left. Jota and Mane jostling for positions. And now we've gone all the way back, so not really anything on top of it. Switching the play to Trent. Getting Thiago involved. That first step from Thiago is just brilliant. Just gets away from players. And now we're just making Inter run around. The passes seem comfortable. They seem happy. No one's really... Hey. Alisson on the right back position, clearing the ball. It's a bit weird, but... Matty asks a great question. Who was your favourite player growing up? Liverpool and non-Liverpool? And I'll put it in the chat. You know, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and put in your favourite Liverpool player and non-Liverpool player growing up. I think we'll talk about this at half-time, seeing as we're coming near to half-time now. Liverpool on the counter. Oh, Jones to Salah going for a 1-2, and then boom, Jones down, but ref says no free kick. Jones still on the floor, holding his ankle. Goes over the ref. It's all about me, ref. Let's have a look at this. Jones 1-2. It didn't even show it. Well, that is some brilliant TV editing. You didn't even show the instant then. So, favourite Liverpool and non-Liverpool player for Jen, it was Steven Gerrard and Alonso. Can you class Alonso as a non-Liverpool player, seeing as he did play for us? Fowler, Klinsmann, or Bergkamp? That's a good one. For me, really oddly, favourite Liverpool player was Robbie Fowler. Growing up, and non-Liverpool player, I really liked Ian Hart. I don't know how many of you will remember him. He was a left back for Leeds, and he wasn't a great left back, but he just had a shot on him that was so hard. It was like a rocket. He just used to power the ball. He'd score some absolutely blinding goals from like 30, 40 yards out. He'd just smash the ball. He was a cracking player. I used to think, Liverpool would be great. And then we signed Reese, who is that type as well. And then there was another player, it was a midfielder for Villa, I think it was, called Thomas Hitzelsberger. And his nickname was Der Hammer, because he just used to hammer the ball from miles away. And he was I really liked him growing up. Der Hammer, because that nickname is awesome. 5 minutes of stoppage. Feels quite short, that, actually. Dalglish and Mickey Thomas. I never saw... Well, I've seen videos of Dalglish, but I've never seen him in play. It's a shame, really. I remember watching Ian Rush sort of towards the end of Ian Rush's time, and he was unbelievable. 5 minutes added. There's a lot of added time. That was probably because of the fan, and then generally with the Jones going down as well. But it doesn't look like anyone's going to get anything to the end of the half. I remember in our title-winning season, we just made a habit of scoring in the 40 to 45th minute. We just turn into a different gear, and for some reason we always used to score. But Inter have the ball at the moment, just playing it around their half. Oh, I'm older than you, Matty. I'm 38. I've got a good 6 years on you, I think, mate. I think Hitzelsberger did come out as gay. I think you might be right, but my God, he could strike a football. He reminded me of Happy Gilmore. He was a rubbish footballer. Absolutely terrible, really. But he could hit a ball, which just reminds me of Happy Gilmore, which is one of my favourite films of all time. A bit like Ian Hart. He was a rubbish left back, but my God, he could hit a ball hard. First change. What changes would you be making? I think we might need a little bit more structure in midfield. I'm almost feeling like it's a Henderson again. Bring us a bit more structure in that central midfield. I think we need to give Thiago more time on the ball. Salah tries an outside the foot cross to Mane and 3 defenders. Oh, they're showing Thiago holding his leg like he's done something to... Oh, he's back on his feet. So we're going to get to the point where we're going to talk about the player of the half. Who do you think was the best player of this half? Let's have a Liverpool and an Inter one. Because it's been a kind of nothing half for me. Doesn't really feel like anyone's got on top of anything. No, apart from that one free kick where I really feel like they should have scored. They really should have put that in the back of the net. There hasn't really been anything. I think Liverpool on the counter attack. Trent going through the middle towards Mane. Mane and the keeper. The keeper gets it. Jones running it. Oh, he's tackled from behind. Free kick. Yellow card for Vidal, finally. Player of the half could be up for grabs here. It is in prime Trent region. He doesn't get the ball. To be fair, it was quite good. Quite good play from Jones, that, protecting the ball. I thought Vidal got the ball a little bit, but we didn't get anywhere near it. So now we're in prime Trent territory. There's someone part of the LFC transfer room team that wants to see someone else other than Trent take free kicks because he thinks he wastes a good few. But when they go in, they go in. That doesn't make any sense. When they go in for everybody, but you know what I mean. So it's, I can't think of anyone else that I prefer to see take free kicks. I know Van Dijk used to be a hell of a free kick taker for Celtic, didn't he? So it'll be good to see who you'd think, or if you think it should stick with Trent, because I'm a big fan of Trent taking free kicks. Is he going to strike it? He is. Oh! A lot of power on it. Very close. Not as close as I thought it was. That's probably going to do it for the half. Yep, and that's half time. Who was your player of the half? So, who do you think was the player of the half for Liverpool, and who do you think it was for Inter Milan? Matthias has gone for Thiago for Liverpool. And for Inter Vidal, for the diving squad, I tell you what, they have been going down a bit, haven't they? They're not short in jumping on the ground, crying in name. Who do you think? Who was your player of the half? And what change would you make? That's what we're asking here at halftime. Diaz on for Mane off. Lots of hate for Vidal. So just hide that whilst we're at half time, just so that I can reset it. So make sure that you like and subscribe. We are getting very, very near to 3,000. We would very much like to get to 3,000. So any support is appreciated. We are looking for your player of the half for Liverpool and your player of the half for Inter Milan. Who did you think was the best? So we've got Van Dijk has been good, Thiago as well. Yeah, I think I probably have to agree with you. I think Van Dijk has looked calm, collected. I think he's shut everything down. Hasn't let anything happen. He seemed like he's been very, very much in second gear, and it's hard. It's hard to say, oh well, he's had a bad half. That's good. He's just cruised through the half so far. So yeah, Van Dijk's been particularly good. Anyone else for Inter? For Inter, I'm going to go with Sanchez. As much as I feel like he's stolen space from Perisic, he's felt very much like the Arsenal version of. Very much like the Arsenal version of Sanchez. He's been good in his attacks and how he's been going about things. I like how he's been attacking. Like he's been coming at the heart of the defence, making us think about things in different ways. I think he's been doing. Yeah, I think he's been quite good. Gary's gone for Fabinho and Dumfries. Fabinho's a good shot, actually. I forgot how many tackles Fabinho's made. And he's cleared a lot of things and a lot of problems out, actually. So he's probably quite a good shout for player of the half. Dumfries, it's the way that he missed that opportunity. Yeah, I mean, it was a brilliant cross straight into the 6-yard box, straight to his foot. All he had to do was get a touch on it, and Inter would be, it'd be 2-1. Inter's back in the tie. So that, yeah, I get why Dumfries is on there, but I just feel like he's just let himself down a little in that half. And while you're thinking about that, there is also something Helio mentioned, which is, if I can find it, when you think of a Liverpool player, what word describes them? So when you see Van Dijk, the word immaculate comes to mind for Helio. So think of a Liverpool player. What word association would you give to them? So it can only be one word. And so Van Dijk, immaculate. For me, Van Dijk would be strolling. That's the word that comes to mind when I think about Van Dijk. So think of a player. What word comes to your mind when you think about that player? It gives us something to do at halftime. So it could be any player in the squad. For me, Alisson. If I think about one word that comes to mind with Alisson, it's I wanted to say erratic, but he's not erratic. It's just it feels like he's about to be erratic. So with Alisson, it would be probably more last man. He feels very much like a last man type defender, even if he's not a defender. He's just normally in a defensive type position. Or an anchor, actually. I quite like anchor for Alisson. Who else have we got? Thiago. Fabinho, I just think leggy. Just think of him like a leggy spider. He just seems to be able to get tackles in everywhere. Or Spider. I think that's his nickname, isn't it? The Spider. Thiago, the word that comes to mind for me on Thiago as well is time. He just seems to have time that nobody else has. He just always seems to find it. He always seems to be able to identify space and time and whatever he wants. So again, put it in the chat. If you think about a Liverpool player, what's the first word that comes to your mind when you think about that player? So far, we've done Van Dijk, immaculate, Fabinho, leggy, Thiago, time. He just seems to be able to generate time. What word comes to mind when you think about certain players? Put it in the chat. It's just something to do at halftime, while we wait for the second half to commence. And then we'll, just before we start, we'll see if anyone's got any differing score predictions. Get that back up. See, ready for the second half. Elliot, direct. I think that it's a fair description of Elliot. I do think of him as a very direct football. Trent, I'm going to go with generational. I think he's going to change the game. Well, I think he's already changed the game, but I think he's going to do it even more. I think he's going to do even bigger things. You see people talk about Reece James and go, "Oh, Reece James is like Trent," except he can. No, nobody's like Trent. I think I saw a stat on Twitter where Trent has the third most assists since 2012, and he was 6 years old or something like that. Utter madness. He is an unreal player. He's going to completely change how football's played. Helio's gone for Thiago and he's gone for finesse. So I think that's a good one for Thiago. And again, anyone as you were trying to think about, if you think about a Liverpool player, what's the one word that comes to mind when you think about that player? Any Liverpool player, past or present, I'm not fussy. I don't control this game. It's just something to do at half-time. Just think about a Liverpool player and what word comes to mind. Neil Ruddock just popped in my head as an ex-Liverpool player, and the word that comes to mind is just a laugh. Neil Ruddock, it just seems like it'd be the ultimate laugh. And if you don't know who Neil Ruddock is, just Google Neil Ruddock and A League of Their Own, and you'll find out who Neil Ruddock is. He was a former Liverpool centre-back. I don't know how he was ever a professional footballer, but he was. And he played for Liverpool. He was actually a very good professional footballer. It's just he was always drunk. And eating kebabs and doing unhealthy things. But he's very funny. So, second half wise, what do you want to see from the Reds as well? You know, whilst we're on that, what do you think we need to do? How do you think we need to sort of get ready for this second half? For me, I want to see us just control possession a little bit more. I want to see us sort of pin them in a little bit more. And I want to see us get a goal early. I'd really like to see us get a goal quite early in the second half, just to completely kill the tie. You know, because one goal just puts a little bit of pressure on and stuff like that. That can take it to extra time and everything that goes with it. So I just want us to get one more goal. And the reason I'm laughing is Gary has just described Bobby Firmino, and I don't think word association can be done any better than this. The one word to discuss for Bobby Firmino is teeth. I think Gary's just won the game. I don't think there's a better word association that I can think of. Would I make any subs at half time? Probably not. I would probably start with the look. They're putting 3 players on Salah. They're trying to close that door. Let's get the ball more to Robbo and Mane on that right-hand side, and let's do it quick. So let's get Trent to whip the ball early across to them. Let's see if we can control the tempo of the game a little bit more. Let's see if we can get them pinned. If you can't do it in the first 15 minutes, then we're going to start to make some changes. But I wouldn't make changes at half-time. Unless there's an injury or unless there's someone that's not feeling 100% great. Because let's be honest, this isn't 0-0, this is 2-0. We're 2-0 up, so there's no need to add risk to the situation. Yes, I know we've got 5 subs and everything like that, but there's just no need to add additional risk to the situation for me. So no subs at half-time if it was for me. Helio's gone for Trent. He's gone for surgical. So again, just word association. Think about a player. What's the one word that comes to mind? Trent, surgical. Would you agree with that? Do you have a better one for Trent? No one's going to beat Gary's word association, which is Bobby and teeth. But we're just waiting for the second half now, and 0-0 feels like it's a bit of a boring game, to be honest. Just slow, no real pace or tempo. It's like Inter don't believe that they can do it, and we don't feel like we need to do it. It's that type of feel for me. And that's the sense I'm getting from the Anfield fans as well. He says, you know, I can't remember who said it in chat. I think it was Helio, which is just there's 30,000 people not doing anything apart from just watching a game of football, not singing a song or anything like that. So it just feels like everyone's treating this game like it's a dead rubber. Even Louis is. I mean, look, I'm doing the watch along, not Louis. So even Louis is like, it's done. Whereas Bayern, 4-0 up against Salzburg, just showing the goals now. That was lucky. Hit the bar and just fell into Lewandowski's lap. So we're coming out for the second half. Rich seats are starting to make their way out. Ooh, interesting. Alexis Sanchez is better than any of the forwards United kept. I think I'd agree with you, Helior. But at the same time, I'm going to disagree with you because I think what United did, which was the right thing to do in my opinion, was they chose the potential. So they kept the players that had the biggest potential to be better players or had a potentially higher peak. I think where it's gone wrong is they haven't been able to improve the players. In fact, in some instances, they've made them worse. So whilst they've kept players like Rashford and they've kept players like Martial around, I know they've just recently got rid of him, they haven't been able to improve them. And they've just kept them as this potential player until they've just moved into a sea of mediocrity on a ridiculously high wage. So I do agree. I think Sanchez is better, but I think that's because they haven't been able to improve their players. And I think that's their problem. I think United haven't been able to improve their players, and it's hilarious. Coming out for the second half, I need to make sure that I press this button, otherwise it'll all go wrong. As you'll see, I've already got period 2. It annoys me that it says period 2. It's very American, but I'm not going to go on about it. All right, I've gone on about it a lot. People from the rich seats slowly feeding back. It's difficult to get away from those posh burgers. And we're off. Second half is underway. It'll do this crazy millisecond thing until it just calms down, probably to the first minute. But we've already started with Liverpool on the ball. Liverpool, hopefully, I mean, we've been a lot better second half. Second half of matches, I feel like we're more a second half team than we are a first half team now. Because previously I always saw us as, especially in the 2 years against City, it was always, can we absolutely hammer you in the first 20 minutes? And that was my favourite time watching Liverpool, just the first 20 minutes of matches where we just used to siege people and people were absolutely panicking. Whereas now I think we're a little bit more clever when it comes to managing the players and their fitness and everything like that. Because I think that first 20 minutes was a cause of a lot of injuries. Inter on the attack. It's a bitty attack. Robbo trying to run away with the ball. Inter player dives on the floor. Kill surprise. Free kick. Sub. Super Helio with the information. Stefan De Vrij out. Ooh, that's not good for them for me. De Vries, their kind of coordinator from what I've seen. No, Skernar's a good defender, but it's not a good sub for them. Who would take him, Gary? Who'd pay his wage? Newcastle, maybe? But Newcastle are just going to get linked with everybody. But who would take him? Free kick. They whip it in. Sanchez straight at Alisson. I'm assuming he was offside. Let's have a look here. 1, 2, 3, all offside. But people say, they've had great opportunities. Salah coming in from the left centre to Trent. They're running into the centre. Oh, deflected. Nearly turned into a shot. And now Inter coming on the attack on the right-hand side. I like this. A little bit more back and forth. People taking the game seriously, trying to actually win the game, as opposed to the first half, which was just an empty nothingness, a vat of disappointment. So thank you for everyone that stuck with me, because really the game was really not exciting. They're whipping it in now, straight into Alisson's arms. This is good. First couple of minutes, back, forth, back, forth. This is what we want to see. It's Champions League football. It should be attack after attack. Preferably a Liverpool attack after a Liverpool attack. But I'll take two ways. As long as we end up winning, I don't care. Oh, Salah with some space. Never had any in the first half. Oh, and then he just goes to barge him out of the way. But Salah does his plyometrics. Oh, megs him. Thought Salah was on for one of those amazing runs. But very interesting. This is the first time we've seen Salah with a little bit of space. He had 3 players around him, all in the first half. Great crossfield ball there, but just too much. You're trying to find that perfect ball, aren't you? Where Alisson can't get out and your player can get in, and it's really difficult to know. Good to know we have the spark on the bench in the form of Diaz. He ignites everything and his energy. I completely agree with you, Helior, and I think Diaz reminds me a lot of when Mane joined. Like, just that eagerness to run and sprint and get involved and do things. Oh, Trent, pass 2, flicks it out wide. Ooh, Skernar looks to have pulled up there. Sliding for the ball. It seems to have given him back pain. To Mane. Mane on the edge of the box. Out wide to Robbo. Robbo whips it into nobody. Oh, my God. They clear it straight to Thiago. Now Trent's on the right wing. Lining it up. Passes it to Thiago Jones. Flicks it out. Here comes the Trent cross. Mane. Oof. Mane goes flying. Robbo cross. Mane goes flying. And in to try to get it out, but Super Matip in the way. How old is Muller? He must be like 102. But Bayern 5-0 up against Salzburg. This feels better, doesn't it, Jen? This come on. We're starting to get in attacks. People are getting involved, obviously. They're putting pressure on. We're putting the press on. They're having to clear. Oh, they're losing it in their own box area. Thiago Jones. Jones spins it out to Robertson. Robertson down the left-hand penalty box to Mane. Mane in a fight. Oh, it was well played by, I think that's the new defender that's come on. Fabinho. Thiago in the box, flicks it to Jota. Oh, keeper comes out. Salah. Oh, off the post. Oh. Some great attacking play. So close. Now Inter coming at us. Is he going to pass it out wide to Dumfries? Yes. Dumfries on the edge of the box. Left-footed cross. Straight to Trent. Thiago clears to Mane. Mane down. No free kick. How is your mum? No, I shouldn't make that joke. I always want to make that joke. I was on my phone to look over it. How's your mum? Yeah, I don't know. It's something that Michael Owen said, isn't it? That made everyone think it's done, but I won't believe it until I see him leaning. Well, leaning against the table, signing it. Salah cutting inside. Jones, edge of the box. Jota spins it to Salah. Vidal falls down, clearing the ball. Sorry, Matthias. It's just a classic joke, isn't it? this second half already feels better, doesn't it? Already feels like things are happening. It already feels like the team are playing with a bit of cohesion and a little bit more attacking and a little bit more sort of structure. That halftime Jurgen chat. But we just need to get that goal. I think 3-0, it just lets us start to bring in the changes, roll out the changes, bring on the players. You know, we want to see Diaz running at Inter Milan. The quick passing, then bang, and then Trent out wide. It's things are already looking better. Inter coming at us now. Try a crossfield pass, that Perisic one in the corner. Perisic has it. Now one-on-one with Trent. Flicks on his right foot, left foot. I do like Perisic as a player. And then they lose it, and we're coming on the counter-attack. Can he get there before Salah? He can. I'll tell you what, Skerner's not moving quick. I mean, quicker than Harry Maguire, but everyone moves quicker than Harry Maguire. Bad thing about my girlfriend is she's a Leicester City fan. There could be worse fans, you know. There could be worse teams that she could support. Salah again coming down the right. We're definitely starting to dominate this. Definitely feels like we're starting to get on top of this game. Switch a play to Robbo. Switch out to Mane. We're starting to play it around the back of the box. Feeling that sort of level of confidence coming now. And then we're flicking the ball back out. But yeah, to be fair, our finishing has been worse than the officiating. Yeah, the only thing that winds me up with the officiating is just every time Inter go down, there's a whistle, and it's very Italian style, isn't it? You know, that I'm going to dive on the floor, you're going to give me a free kick, and it feels very stop-start, and you lose rhythm, and Liverpool don't do well when they lose rhythm in a game, I often find. So that's always bothered me, but he's not blowing it as much, and suddenly there's a rhythm going, and we're starting to get consistent attacks, apart from Mane, then passing it back to nobody. But it feels like they're not getting out. So, and I like that. I like that we're starting to pin them in and we're starting to get on top. I'm going to answer this the only way that it should be answered, Matthias. The famous question of pineapple on pizza, yes or no? And the answer is no. Pineapple should never go on pizza. In fact, pineapple should never be consumed. I hate the stuff. You know, the reason it's spiky and you shouldn't get in it is because it's the devil's fruit. Nobody should eat the devil's fruit, not on a pizza, not cold, not in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. Pineapples are vile. Bit of a strong opinion on a pineapple. Pineapples and rhubarb, they're the two things that I hate in this world. And coriander, sorry, 3 things I hate in this world. And Man United, anyway, I could go on. But no, pineapple should never be on a pizza in a million years. People who like pineapple on pizza are Satan worshippers. I really don't like pineapple. I don't know why. I'm partial to a cantaloupe, though, which people say tastes like pineapple, but it really doesn't. And how's everyone have steak? If it's not medium rare or less, you don't deserve steak. I think you'll find you must be Matthias. You just don't know it yet. Oh, Inter on the attack, but they just shoot it straight at Matip. The rhubarb thing actually comes from how my gran used to make jam out of rhubarb. So I'm from Yorkshire, where we have an abundance of rhubarb. And when you make jam out of rhubarb, you stew it down like with a load of sugar in a pan, and the smell is just horrific, absolutely horrific. It's one of the worst smells I've ever smelt in my life. And I grew up next door to a butcher's because we owned the butcher's and stuff like that. And the smell of stewing pineapple is the worst thing in the world. So stewing rhubarb is the worst thing in the world. So it's a big no from me. Big no. Oh, he went for a cheeky little finish, didn't he? Into play, but again, it seems to have come with nothing. Mane's not having a good match. No, I tend to agree with you. All his runs seem to have not really gone anywhere. He seems to have got himself down dark alleys, hasn't he? And then just not really got out. Oh, quick counter-attack from Liverpool with Trent on the ball coming down the left. Through the centre. Oh, he just passed it straight to Vidal. Why? Interesting, they left like 7 back when they were attacking the corner. They're 2-0 down in the Champions League, and there was 5 or 6 players that had just left back and they hadn't gone forward for the corner. Just makes zero sense if you want to get through in the Champions League. It's like Inter Milan have just given up. And I don't get it. This is the opportunity to get into the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and Inter Milan leaving 6 players back on their attacking corner. Granted, it might be Italian footballing genius or anything like that, but you're 2-0 down, it's 60 minutes gone, you've had 1 shot on target, you're not doing anything in the game really attacking-wise. Why not have a bloody go? I'm not saying throw your keeper up for God's sake, but oh crap. I say that and they've just managed to put one right in the top corner. Larito came from a throw and it pretty much came from nowhere. And Inter fans are going mental. Need to see this again. There's me having a rant about Inter not taking it seriously, and suddenly Martinez just slams one in the top corner. Matip trying to get it out, passes it down the line, comes to an Inter player, he whips it in. Quick 1-2 to Martinez in that Jones sort of territory. He just launches it into the top corner before we can do anything to get out. Just a wasted pass from Matip seems to have open the opportunity. It is a cracker of a finish. It is literally the only place he could have put it. Any other, it hit Van Dijk. Wow, what a finish. You see, and this is why I wanted the third, because now it puts the game on its head. Now suddenly, one more goal, and they're taking it to extra time, and they're going to think they can get through. This is what happens when Liverpool don't take things seriously. We put ourselves in this situation because now we're going to wake ourselves the damn up and get attacking. And this is where, thankfully, there's 5 substitutions, so Klopp can really sort of rally the changes. I would not expect... Well, I would expect in the next couple of minutes we're going to see Henderson and we're going to see Diaz, and he's going to try and completely shake this game up and just sort of put us back on top, because we need to score and we need to score quickly. Otherwise, we're just going to get further and further back. We're going to invite pressure from Inter Milan, and our entire game plan's just gone shit out the window. Finally, we've got a bit of a game on our hands, though. What are you guys thinking? What would you do? This is your situation with Klopp. What would you do? How would you get yourselves out of this situation? Whilst you think about how much Matthias loves pickled herring. See, Matty, when I think of Yorkshire, I think about daytime drinking and bad decisions. But I see what you mean. Yorkshire puddings are very nice. But York, which is the city I grew up in, has one street with 23 pubs on one street, which was the Stag and Hen Do capital of sort of Yorkshire. And you would start at one pub and then you would drink all your way down to the end of the pub. And at the end of the street was where the nightclub was. And that was what everyone was doing. Obviously, it's a beautiful city, York. But every weekend, it was just filled with drunken idiots on Stag and Hen Do's. But it's a good laugh. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I think Alexis Sanchez going off, that's a shame for Inter. Is that a red card? I've missed something big here. So Jones coming off. Naby Keita coming on. Not a bad decision. He played well. And Henderson coming on. So is that Thiago and thinking, right, so we're going with a workhorse midfield now. We're gonna press them to death is basically the new game plan. And second yellow card for Sanchez. Press them to death, move them around, tire them out, do what needs to be done. I mean, we've not done great against 10 players, but we haven't conceded against 10 players. As much as we couldn't score for Toffee, we haven't conceded. So it's a bit of a shame for Sanchez. He was having a good game. And he brought back that aggressive play, that he was really good at Arsenal. So it's a bit of a shame, to be honest. Not for us. I want to go through, so, Right, so we're starting to move it around a bit now. I'm feeling calmer, but I'm still annoyed. And some of the great ball forward. I mean, sideways, because that's all he does, according to people. Ooh, I'm not sure that was offside. Oh, look at us press. See, this is what I think Thiago is a world-class player. I think Jones is going to be a really, really good player, potentially a world-class player. But they're two playmakers, and I think when you've got a playmaker, you need a workhorse. And I don't think two playmakers together, unless you've got a really weak opposition, like a Norwich or something like that, is going to work. Whereas, it feels a bit harsh, that second yellow, actually. So, yeah, I think unless you're going to dominate games for 90 minutes in possession, I think you do need a worker as a midfielder as well. And Fabinho's not a worker, he's defensive midfielder, so he's the one that's sort of security blanket almost. Into getting a bit panicked about it. About the defending, the slicing, the clearances. "5-1, some Dane with a difficult name." I see, we're passing it around now. We just need one goal for me now. I think we're in that late stage where one goal pretty much feels comfortable, especially with them down to 10 men. But Yeah, it's getting better now. So Gary's saying he thinks that Elliot will come on. It's like a cracker. They're just showing the goal again. It's a cracker of a goal. Sorry, but it's a good goal. Maybe Elliot will come on. Maybe I think once we get control of the game, they might take Fabinho off and bring on Elliot. I think Diaz is next. I think we need to just inject a bit of pace, inject a bit of drive into that forward line, because it seems to energize all of them when one of them's buzzing around. I do think Mane is the one that's been off the ball, but I mean, it could very easily be Jota. Salah's made a few runs and a few like dribbles in the box that make you think he's got something in the locker today, but the other two, I mean, bring on Minamino for God's sake. Swansea won. Fulham. Did you see his halfway attempt where he pinged it off the crossbar? That was a real shame for Nico Williams. That would have been a great goal. He seems to be doing well on loan at Fulham, Nico Williams. Liverpool now really starting to pile on the pressure. The front three are starting to move around in positions. They're playing with each other. And Inter are diving on the floor, rolling around like they've been shot from a sniper in the stands. And Mane's getting a yellow card for it. Well, this will be an interesting review, because to me, that just looked like nothing. So he put his hand out and seemed to be near the player. So obviously Mane was just trying to smack him around the face. Went down. He got a yellow card for it. This is what annoys me about Italian football. There is a lot of play acting. And I think if you do want to get at Liverpool, sometimes you just stop the rhythm of the game and you can get on top of them a little bit. Yeah, Liverpool wanted Sanchez. He went to Arsenal. It's a bit of a shame, really. I think Sanchez was saying it was a shame, wasn't he? In a match interview a few weeks ago, he was saying how he feels like he probably made a mistake. Because obviously we ended up with Balotelli, so we definitely made a mistake. But I think a Sanchez replacement for Suarez could have been a good one. Could have been a really good sort of partnership with Liverpool at that moment in time. Could have helped us carry kicking on, but it's the Balotelli thing that sank us. What a terrible footballer he is. Oh, pass back from Ding. Oh, nearly a corner. Oh, look at that. They're pinging it around in their own 6-yard box as Liverpool press like monsters. And it's been brought back for a corner. There is not a chance on this planet that linesman could see that. He has just guessed his career away. He's got a good turn of pace, Martinez, hasn't he? Jesus. Alisson doing Alisson things. Oh, it does. Thanks, Matthias. All I ever think about now when I think about the Danish is Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where the two Swedish Interpol police come into the station and they say, we like this, but we don't like Danish people. It's a garbage language for garbage people. And that's how I imagine Sweden thinks about Denmark. Where exactly? There just needs to be something. Someone needs to get hold of this game. And I think Diaz might be the one that needs to come on, really. I think there needs to be some drive at the defence. But and this is the thing, right? They're 1-0 down. Yes, they've got 10 men, but they've got 5 substitutions, so they can really sort of start to attack if they choose to. And now they're going to go for it. Fresh legs. What are we talking, 15 minutes? Yeah, you might have to do a bit more running than you would normally, but they've only got to get 1 goal and take it to extra time. Gagaladini. Tell you what, Brozovic looks a little bit like a United-type player, to be honest. Good player, though. Dumfries off. That's an interesting one. It'll be my first choice to come off. Would not have been my first choice to come off. Now, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 3K and we're not far away, so any support that you can have would be helpful. So make sure that you like the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Do all that jazz. Every like that you give will actually give a little bit of spark to Liverpool so that we can actually start playing football and not this ball fest that it's been so far. That involved. How is that? Oh my God. Italian players. Oh, I've been shot. I've slid tackled, but Mane. Hell of a move. Switch. Salah. Oh, right foot onto the post. That's twice we've hit the post. The first little bit of front three intricacy, and it just carves them open like it's nothing. First bit of urgency. First bit of fire. Mane. See. No idea. Unless Diaz has got some sort of knock. But the first time we attacked them with pace, with meaning, we took a player, Jota took a player on, got past, Mane drove at the defence. The first time we did it, and suddenly we're all over them. Clear-cut chance for Salah. It was right-footed, so how hit the post? That's twice we've hit the post now. Oh. Here we come. Back. They're in 2 lines of 4. Just moving it around. No one's running in the front 3. They're all just standing there waiting for the ball to be passed to them. It's like no one's trying to get into an aggressive position or make a defender make a decision or something like that. It's all just static. It just needs to be a bit more movement, a bit more urgency. I don't know why there isn't. Salah again, top right corner, cutting inside. 3, 4. He's got past 3 or 4 players there. Oh, he tries again. Keita, left foot, driven straight into a player. But we just need to. Their changes haven't helped them. They really haven't. They seem to have lost all drive and sort of connection to it. They seem to be really struggling to get some pace going. But Liverpool, I mean, we've got to do something here. Whipped in. Matip. He should have been clear on that one, Matip. I have no idea what that was, Henderson. And they're having a panic attack about something. I don't even know what Henderson's meant to have done with that. So a nothingness, but, you know, Italians fly off the handle. They've done a really good job in terms of disrupting Liverpool's rhythm and knocking them out of stride. You know, when they've been starting to do things to get on top, like they then kick off about something, or they dive down about something, or they play injured about something, and it seems to be working in just knocking Liverpool completely off their rhythm. Because, you know, they're getting involved in the physical elements of it. They're not backing down from it. Oh, nearly a great pass from Henderson to Salah on the volley down the right wing. Could have got him straight in. But we're on track here to lose at Anfield, to lose 1-0. Yes, we go through whoop-de-doo and stuff like that, but you're still losing at Anfield. But we're camped in the half now. We're starting to play it around. It's just not clicking. I mean, the obvious one's Diaz. Who else would you bring on if you know, to change things up, to give this game a different feel? Elliott, maybe. Thinking about the bench. Super Minamino. 59% possession to their 49. You know, as much as we're controlling the game, it's not complete dominance. Jota, get a back heel straight to Inter Milan. Just, I mean, at least they're trying stuff, but it's just not working, is it? Now Inter on the attack. I think you summarised it quite well there, Gary. It's very, very frustrating. We just don't seem to be clicking into gear. We just don't seem to be taking the most of our opportunities. Inter with nearly a brilliant counter-attacking ball from left to right. Just pinged it over. It just put a little bit too much on it. Oh, they're just re-showing that Salah opportunity. Comes in, right foot, first time, half volley, bang, post. Oh, 99 times out of 100, any other player spoons it or Salah scores it. Real shame, really close. Into with another change. Liverpool not really making changes now. They've made the two central midfielders changes, but haven't really made any others. I think they're worried about just losing shape or losing thing. Oh, look, Luis Diaz is on now. Now, hopefully, let's see a little bit of firing, a little bit more aggression in our attack. Well, Salzburg, who were like, oh, we're in it. Look, 1-1. We brought ourselves back into the tie, have been well and truly spanked by Bayern Munich. Jota out, Diaz in. And we spend the next 2 minutes just playing it around in our own box, though, Helio, don't we? So, no, just let's buy it, Inter get set in their shape, get comfortable. But you can already see, look at it, he's hanging on the last line. He's running into him, he's running away from him. Salah straight past the right back, humiliates him. Oh, past another one, down. It's got to be a free kick. Yellow card. Ref loves a yellow card. Oh, it's like you're playing FIFA, that little trick where he just flicks the ball in the air and then chases after it and then double tap to sort of sprint clear. Macias, the predictor, Bayern might make it through. I mean, they're only 7-1 up and there is still 5 minutes to go. I was going to say stranger things have happened, but they really haven't. Oh, Mane heads it into their player, Van Dijk, and they're in a battle. He's getting clear. Van Dijk and Keita pressing. Their player dives on the ground because, that's what Inter players do. Goal kick. I tell you what, we should have watched the Salzburg Bayern Munich game. More entertaining than this one. Salzburg might score 6. Ooh, really coming in fast on Matty then. Keita, we're moving the ball around. I'll tell you what, they're pressing well. And then we've just stopped in the middle of the field again. Trent, it was a perfect opportunity if you could have just whipped it to Mane then. Where is Divock? It's too early for Divock, Gary. It's too early for Divock. Divock comes in semi-final onwards. That's when you bring out Divock. Not in this round. Basically, when all the chips are down, that's when you bring out Divock. Diaz already running lines, making them come out of shape. A couple of step overs. He's on the wing, just tormenting him out towards Trent. Pinging it around. Salah 1-on-1, 2-on-1, which, it's about right for Salah. We're keeping him penned in, but I think there's something that's bugging me about them just accepting losing 1-0 at Anfield. I know it's about getting through, and I should be fine with it. It should be like, whatever we need to do to get through or anything like that. But we're at home. They're down to 10 men. We should be winning the tie. Oh, what a ball. Robbo. Oh, Robbo. It's Robbo can deliver that cross so easily. He was so onside as well. Just hit the ball too high. Didn't get any height on it. Corner to Liverpool. Robbo to take it. Whips it in. Oh, I think it was off their player. I think it's another corner. They're not great on these corners. Just like, love his chop backs. You know, like how he loves a little chop back, doesn't he? Trent, you're at home. We're 1-0 down. Bit more urgency, please. I know theoretically we're through, but I just don't want to lose at home. Crosses it in. Oh, nearly bang on Van Dijk's head. Salah strikes it into the mix. Naby Keita just sends it up. Liverpool back on the counter-attack with Naby Keita on the left. We're getting crowded out a few times. I mean, if we were into players, we'd probably dive on the ground every time they tackled us, but 5 minutes of added time. Here we go. Inter currently on the attack. Robbo cuts it out. Tries to pass it to Diaz. Doesn't work. Robbo again. Tries to head it to Diaz. Gets cut out. And flag up. Inter player offside. I like that. The linesman put his flag up straight away. Bang. Nope. Definitely offside. Bish, bash, bosh. Done. Simple. Van Dijk sends a massive ball down the pitch. Mane chasing it down. Yeah, he headed it. I thought it was going to be a pass back then. Start to get into chat. Who you think your man of the match was? It'll be a tough one today. Don't think there's an obvious choice, especially in the second half. I don't think. It was. I don't think there was anyone that particularly stood out. Henderson with a great ball to Diaz, to Trent. Trent back across to Diaz. Diaz. Oh my God! He got it. Vidal dives in the way in the 6-yard box, spoons over and goes wide. Diaz, prime opportunity. What a block from Diaz! Honestly, that is incredible. Just lines it up and he's coming in at full pace, gets his shin on it and just spoons it over the bar. That is a hell of a clearance. Even Vidal shocked at that one. You could see like his teammates picking him up saying, what have you done? And he's like, I have no idea what day of the week is it. I actually think an Inter player might be man of the match. But I guess we're probably going to have to pick a Liverpool one. This is the Liverpool fan channel, for God's sake. But, yeah, Van Dijk maybe. I mean, I know we conceded a goal, but no one else has really done anything stood out. Martinez ran constantly. It was a hell of a strike for a goal. So, yeah, maybe. Oh, how the hell did Vidal keep that out? That is a block and a half. Yeah. It was absolutely cracking. I think it was a complete fluke block, to be honest. But it looked amazing because Diaz had the time, created the time for himself, picked his spot, was just going to quickly pass it in, no backlift or anything like that, quick movement, and just came flying in. Go on, Joe Matty. Sat down into play. You stay down as long as you like because, we're in added time. You're going to get one whipped cross. Joe going to head to a goal kick. So I think Alisson will be able to take the goal kick. I'll take his time over it, get us really close to that 5 minutes added on. I think you might head a 2 back and forth, but I think this is pretty much it. Going to be a 1-0 loss at Anfield in the Champions League, our first loss in the Champions League this season. But overall, it's a win because we're 2-0 up on aggregate. I think for most teams in Europe, they'll look at it as a chink in the armour. I think us as fans, we've got to ask ourselves, what were we doing tonight? Because we were quiet. I don't think we were at our best. I don't think we were at our loudest. So there's a couple of things that worried me about tonight's performance, but that's it. Full time. Liverpool lose 1-0. And we're through to the next round of the Champions League. So again, what are your thoughts? Put them in the comments. Who was your man of the match? Who did you think was our player of the game? I wouldn't go that far. Helio thinking Bayern Munich could eat us for breakfast. I don't think they would. I think they had an easier ride with RB Salzburg. A bit like Man City with Sporting, but I think also Liverpool were too arrogant tonight. I think Liverpool were quite arrogant in their approach to this tonight. I think they assumed they were through and that they were better and that they were dominant and that this was going to be really simple for them. And I think they took Inter Milan for granted. I think they just waltzed in for the first time in a long time where I've seen a Liverpool team waltz in with too much confidence, thinking that it was going to be a walk in the park when it wasn't. For me, I think they need to take a step back. They need to realise that anyone can turn up and that we need to turn up every time and treat everyone like they are Man City, Bayern Munich, whether it's the league or anything, because if we turn up and assume that we're going to cruise past somebody, they'll beat us. And that's not what we want to happen. So, but anyway, I'm going to leave it here so that the guys can do a post-show wrap-up. So there'll be another show on LFC Transfer Room where we'll sort of review what's happened. We'll talk about the next round of the Cup and who we could be potentially against and stuff like that. Make sure that you like and subscribe and that you tune into that one. I've been James Dean. This is LFC Transfer Room. The ref gets a staff for being a constant drama queen and then 1 point deducted for being a helpless clown. See, I'm going to finish on this comment, Helio, because I think this is pretty much sums up the game. It wasn't a great one for us. Liverpool through. We lost 1-0 at home. On to the next one. Catch you at the next one.